Kevin Love, welcome back to the show, but technically welcome for the first time to the daily social distancing show. How are you holding up?
It's been a different time to navigate, I think, for all of us. It's just ridden with a lot of stress, anxiety, the unknown. I mean, forget sports for a moment, just every walk of life and really everywhere in the world. But the US with the most cases now, you have to tip your hat to really the heroes in this time is grocery store workers, pharmacy, people working at the pharmacy, but really the doctors and nurses. I mean, they're really putting in, a lot of time. But this has been, like I said, a different time to navigate and find ways to keep busy mentally and physically.
It definitely has been a difficult time to navigate, but it feels like the NBA and many of its players have stepped up in a really powerful and unique way. I remember the shock when the NBA announced that they were suspending the season. I mean, nobody thought it would happen. And then very quickly, we started to hear stories about how many people who worked in these arenas wouldn't have a job. And you were one of the first players who stepped up and said, hey, I'm going to give my own personal money to help pay for these people. I'm going to help raise money to pay for these people's salaries. And then the owners started stepping in. Other players did as well. Why did you feel it was so important for you to do that? And how did you get everybody mobilizing? What was the attitude of the NBA?
Yeah, well, it was about, I guess Wednesday would be 3 weeks, since that night in Oklahoma City when it was the Jazz versus OKC. And, I woke up the next day just thinking about, kind of like I mentioned, the stress and anxiety of this time and not knowing when or if these people and these families are going to be able to put food on their table. I mean, a lot of these people are living paycheck to paycheck. And these are people that are a part of not only my story, but the Cavs organization. And you start to develop a first name basis and first name relationship with these people and start to, ask about their family. And you see them when you come into the arena, see them when you leave the arena. So I thought it was important to just take care of people that, have taken care of me so long and are part of my story, honestly, on and off the floor.
Yeah. Human beings are resilient, but you're right. Everybody needs help getting through it, especially now. One of the things I've always appreciated about you is how open you've been in discussing anxiety, depression, opening up that conversation in the NBA and then getting people more comfortable speaking about how to deal with these issues in society. Coronavirus has presented a completely unique challenge for many people who suffer from anxiety or even depression, where many of your circles are removed from you. Many people don't have the networks that keep them, mentally as healthy as they'd like to be. What have you been doing during this period, and what advice would you give people out there who go, Kevin, I'm not coping, and it feels like this is triggering everything that gets me to the place I don't want to be in?
Well, I know I can say it right back at you. I got to tip the hat because I know that this mental health has been a part of your story as well. So just, continuing to create community in that aspect. I think that's a huge thing during this time. People will look back, they're not going to look back on their deathbed and say, hey, I wish I would have earned more money. I wish I would have, had more fame. They're going to say, that those relationships are really what brought them joy and happiness. So I feel like that sense of community, especially since I had shared my story. I'm sure it's the same for you, especially with your book, that a lot of people came out in droves and large numbers and just expressed kind of the things that they had gone through and the things that they had experienced, whether it be firsthand or somebody just removed from their inner circle, because we all have people that go through stuff and we all grieve and deal with loss at one point or another. But this social isolation has been, speaking of navigating this time, very, very different. I had done at NBA All-Star, I'd done a panel with Giannis and Chris Paul, Mike Wilbon and President Obama, and he had brought something up to me that it's such a social issue, like during this time, especially when it comes to mental health and depression and anxiety, that it's the isolation and it's the loneliness that is so devastating during this time. And I that really stuck with me when he said that, because I think that's sometimes lost on people. And I'm fortunate to have a lot of great friends in my life and be able to talk with people like you that can scale up this message and allow people to, further these conversations. But that loneliness part of it is very, very scary. And I think it's important for people to know it's normal to feel this way.
Right. Let me ask you this before I let you go. Everyone is wondering how the NBA is going to come back, if and when it comes back for this season. People are hoping the NBA can kick off in maybe late May, maybe June, maybe July. Everyone knows that means the season is going to be compressed, but the NBA has said they want a champion. So would you rather have it that the season just becomes really short and it's almost like a playoffs to a playoffs, or would you rather the season goes later in the year and then the next season starts a little bit later, or you just go straight? What would you hope as the ideal scenario for the NBA right now?
Okay, so I'm going to answer the second part first, because I've had this conversation with a number of guys, as well as a couple of coaches and former coaches, is that we have the best schedule. It's a scholastic schedule. You get summers off. So selfishly, and I've done it for 25 years now of organized basketball, is that we've always had that schedule where it's been September and October through, if you go all the way to the finals, it's through June, and then we get the summers off. So we have it really good, and that's not lost on any of us. And obviously, drastic times, drastic measures, but we would like to keep the same schedule, 82 games. But I would see a situation where, because guys might come in a little out of shape and don't know how to get through this time because it is new, that they will then have like a 2-week training camp, play 10 games, and then it'll go into some sort of a playoff scenario. I don't know if they'll play 7 games or they'll play a 5-game series that we haven't seen in a long time, and then they'll have the finals. But I do think, because we've had so many of these sports taken away from us, that the ratings will be incredibly high, and it'll be, in basketball, how it is, it'll be anybody's game, anybody's championship. So as a fan myself, that'll be fun to watch.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for your time, man. I hope you keep in shape and stay safe out there, man. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on the court sooner than later.
All right, likewise. Thanks, buddy.